Hey guys, my name is Kimberly Mulcahy, and I'm coming at you today with some overcoming objections and recruiting conversation tips. And I don't want to make this video super long because I don't want it to be drawn out. I want it to be something that you actually watch all the way through. And I could sit here and give you a ton of different examples on how to conversate and how to answer this question and how to answer that question and how to do this and how to do that. But like we've said already at the beginning of this group, Google is your absolutely the best tool and your best friend to find specific information relating on certain things that you're struggling with. So if price is something that you always are needing to overcome, search how to overcome price in sales or how to overcome price objection in Beachbody. You can go to YouTube for those. There's a plethora of different videos out there that you can watch and learn different tips. I'm going to give you some tips, and I'm actually going to upload a document that I include in my training for my team. But I want you guys to have it because it's actual examples on overcoming objections and kind of what to say, or examples of what to say for certain objections that we get all the time. So one thing that I want you to know about objections is that they're normal and they're bound to happen. All of us deal with them. They're human nature. People always put up that defense mechanism and use objections as an excuse and that defense mechanism to hide behind when they're not really sure. You know, if what you're offering is valuable enough for them to spend their money on. It's something that everyone gets, and we've all heard that objections don't necessarily mean no. They mean not right now. So you never want to cross anyone off your list until they've said, absolutely not. There's no way that I am doing any of this because it's just not for me. Then you might want to cross them off your list because at that point you're wasting time. So objections are a learning experience, and the more that you do them and more that you get out there and just have those conversations and tweak your conversations to overcome certain objections, the easier it's going to be to combat, and the more natural it's going to seem to you. And just the more practice makes perfect, right? And it's really just an objection. So don't put so much pressure on yourself to say, oh my gosh, I don't know the answer to that question. I don't know how to deal with this. I've had this, been thrown in my face a million times. I just can't do it anymore. Don't use it as a reason to give up, and use it as a challenge. Make those people into believers, and whether or not it's a coaching opportunity, or if it's Shakeology, or if it's a challenge group that you're trying to do, create some excitement and add that value so that the price and what you're offering, all those objections come off the table. And as women, we actually buy on impulse. We buy on knowing, liking, and trusting somebody. And that's a huge part in sales. If you can get someone to know, like, and trust you, you've got it made. You can sell them a calculator. You can sell them a Post-it note with a bunch of words on it, and they're going to say, oh yeah, that's super helpful to me because you've given me X, Y, and Z, and we have such a great relationship. Let's do this. It's not even about price anymore. And the way that I personally look at overcoming objections and just sales in general, because sales, a lot of us got into coaching because we didn't want to sell anything. I don't know if I can sell things. I don't want to be a salesperson. And we're really not, but you do have to make sales in order to get some income. You have to sell the coaching opportunity to get coaches into your network. So in a sense, you do have to sell, but it's just in a different way where it doesn't feel yucky and it doesn't feel weird and, just sketchy. We have such a better way through our practices that the more that you do practice, the easier that it's going to get, and it's not going to be about that selling piece all the time. But we do have to sell, right? So always start with that going into any conversation, any objection, is that you're going to have to get that person to know, like, and trust you, whether that takes a month, whether that takes a week, whether that takes a year. I still have people buying things from me for the first time after a year and a half of me talking to them and them being in my network, where I had, for an example, I'll give you a real quick example, a lady that I've talked to, and she's almost joined a challenge group with me at least 3 or 4 times. When I talked to her about Country Heat, she said, out of everything that you've offered me, this is something I'm really, really excited about, and I really want to join your group. So, it just might take somebody a little bit longer to get there. And objection really is truly a bump in the process, and that's okay. We all experience it, and we all have those bumps. It's just a matter of how you keep going, how you keep tweaking that conversation to add more value to the relationship. So let's see, I'm looking at my notes to make sure, because I don't want to go into a lot of examples because I don't want this video to be super long, and I'm already going to post that document. But one thing I do want, that I did find, and I used Google and YouTube when I was researching this topic, was the objection of, I'll think about it. Now, we've heard price, we've heard, I don't know if I'm ready, we've heard I've got to talk to my husband, but I'll think about it is something super general and something that you don't really know where else to go at that point, because you can't answer that. It's not a question. It's how do you approach it? So you have maybe something that you go back with on would be, well, what exactly are you, what do you need to think over? Is it the workout itself? Is it the commitment, the nutrition plan? Is it the time that you're worried about it's going to take in your schedule? Those are all specific things that you can answer. And then a lot of times, of course, the biggest objection that we get is price. So ding, 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 right? That's really what they're hiding behind, is the price. So you need to be able to provide and prove to them that what you're offering is more valuable than the money aspect. So to take this example even further, so once you've uncovered that it's price, or someone said, I just don't have the money, I always go back and empathize with them. I relate to them, and I ask, is this your only concern? And I'll wait and listen for them to answer. And then if they say, well, yeah, Kimberly, it really is my only concern, then I might say, well, if you did have the money, would you get involved in blank? So depending on if I'm talking about a challenge pack or a challenge group or the business opportunity. So if you did have the money, would you get involved in this business today? And wait again for them to answer, and then get their why. So what appeals to you most about getting involved with this today, if you could? And again, listen to those reasons, because you're going to get even more specific on how to combat different things when they come up. So once you have their reasons, you could say, are those reasons enough to spend the money so that you can X, Y, and Z? So join the business today. That's the example I use. So if you had enough money, would you today, would you sign up? And once I have those reasons, then you can say, well, are those enough reasons for you to spend the money so that you can have more freedom, so that you can spend more time with your kids, so you can quit your 9 to 5? Things like that. Those are all reasons that they already gave you. So it's not creepy. It's not weird just to reiterate those and to bring them back up. You're not pushing them. You're just seriously asking them a legitimate question, right? And so asking these open-ended questions allow you to listen and to allow them to talk more openly. And then it allows you to look for clues. So you want to look for clues in your conversations so that you can combat certain things when they come up, right? So another quick example that I will share with you is, how much is it going to cost? That's one that I feel like, even when I see that question, I feel like, oh crap, how do I answer that? They're asking me very specifically, what's the price? They want to know right now, right? So we kind of freeze up, and then we're like, okay, well, it's on sale for $140, but this is all you get. And you start spewing like information all over them. And then they're like, okay, I think I'm out now, right? Because that's not really what they wanted to know necessarily. So a way that you could lead into this is say, well, that depends. You know, what kind of workouts do you like to do? What are you currently working out? You know, what is something that you continue to struggle with no matter what you try? Is it nutrition? Is it time? Is it accountability? And then, you know, then you can say, well, the cost really depends on the type of program that you and I decide on. And then I say, you know, depending on what those answers are to those questions that they've answered for me, I will pick and choose a couple things that I feel like would be a good fit for them and say, hey, I'd really love to share like a couple 2-minute videos with you so that you can visualize some things a little bit better, and see if it's a good fit for you. And then we can kind of go from there. Would you watch them? Of course, they'll come back and say, most likely yes. You send them the videos. I use the ones in the back office all the time, just the promo videos, so that they can kind of see what you're going to explain. Because for me, I'm a visual learner. I'm a visual person. So if someone was just to send me a huge, long spiel about a challenge group, a challenge pack, the containers, Shakeology, support, checking into Facebook, the challenge tracker, so on and so forth, I'd be like, oh, whoa, like this is really overwhelming. I don't even know what she's talking about. So I always send the video first. And I will not go to that next step until they've told me that they'll watch it. Because then you can explain things in more detail, like Shakeology and, you know, reasons why it's so great, and give them little tidbits as how it's really changed your life. And then if you've kind of gone down that road and you're still stuck on that, well, I just can't, I would love to, but I just can't afford it. So for me personally, I'm not, and I know Megan does the same thing. She always offers the good, better, best option, right? So if you're dealing with the 21-day fix, the best option is the challenge pack. The better option is the base kit, where they get the workout nutrition plan without Shakeology. And then the good option is just to get the Fix 8 cookbook, so that they can start implementing some healthy habits into their daily nutrition, right? So you can go that route. I personally know that if they join me in a challenge group in any way, they're going to take the next step at some point. So I never just stop at a challenge pack and shut the door on them, because again, that's leading with a different agenda, and we're here to help them so that it doesn't come across salesy. If you show up to help, it's not sales anymore. You're just giving them all the options. It's going back to that customer service and providing them with all the information so that you can help find the best option that works for them and their budget. So, you know, if they still come back on the price and say, I'd love to, I really want to do the challenge pack, I can't do it right now, I'm going to wait because I really want to have that option, then maybe you ask them, well, you know, what does your price range look like? What is expensive to you? What were you expecting to spend? You know, maybe we can discuss a different program and different options to where it's a little bit cheaper. You know, go a different route. Continue to find solutions for them so that you can help them. And I always finish up like a conversation like that with, I ultimately just really want you to be happy with the program that you choose, because I want it to be something that you're excited about each day when you go to work out, and it's something that you're going to stick with. So again, just providing those options for people so that it becomes more about the excitement and the value versus the price is really what's going to hook them in. And I always, once I send the link and the steps to register, I never say purchase. That's another tip for me personally that's worked really well, is I never say, once you purchase your program or purchase your challenge pack, you'll be in the group or whatever. I always say, here's the link to register. It's super easy. And then once you do register, just shoot me a quick message so I can double check the processing for you. And then I'll confirm with you so that I can make sure to get you added to the group. And then if you're not out there wondering okay, so this person said they're going to order, but they haven't ordered yet. Should I follow up with them? This, that, and the other thing. So it allows an open door to follow up because you've already discussed, when they're going to register with a deadline, and you've already given them the link. So, if for some reason something falls through, then you have that date that they said they were going to register by, or you've given them that deadline date so that you could go back and say, hey, I just wanted to make sure that, and remind you to register today, because today's the last day. And then, again, just shoot me a message so that I can double check things for you and make sure that everything looks good. And people will appreciate that, because it sounds like, I know for me, that would sound like they're going the extra mile to make sure that you're taken care of and, you're getting everything that you need for the challenge group. Second topic that I'll kind of go quickly on is recruiting conversations. So this is something that people feel stuck, especially when, exhausting their warm market. You feel like you don't really know where to turn, where to find new people. The same people are continuing to tell you no, and you're starting to get frustrated. And again, that's all about the sales process, right? You have to continue to go for no and get more people in your network. So I'll give you a couple ways that a lot of you probably know, especially if you're on Facebook as your primary social media platform, that people you may know and friends of friends are huge ways and great ways to establish new conversations and recruiting different friendships. So find people that you already have really strong relationships with, and go through their profile on Friends and Friends, and just start conversations with them. Again, start super general and just ask general questions, and just lead the conversation on from there. And then referrals, of course, we've heard that before. If you have some really rockin' challengers and they're just not interested in becoming a coach or whatever, ask for referrals, because you've already had some really great success with that person, and chances are that they're going to want to continue. So ask them if they will have any friends that want to join in for the next round or whatever. So getting referrals is a big piece of the puzzle that will help you as well. And then if you're on Instagram, the sky's the limit. It's when I actually sit down and use Instagram, I'm super successful, because you can search certain hashtags, and I always suggest, depending on how much you know about Instagram, first off, you can use 30 hashtags per post. You put them in the comments and not the post, but then you also want to stay away from things that would draw in your competitors. So instead of using hashtag Shakeology or hashtag superfoods, maybe you do hashtag smoothie, hashtag smoothie bowl, hashtag antioxidants, hashtag immune booster, things like that doesn't necessarily just draw coaches into your feed, because then you feel even more stuck, because all you see is that coaches are following you. So step out of the Beachbody box, use hashtags that aren't directly related to products. If it's a workout, then you could do, instead of doing insanity, you could say HIIT, interval training, body weight exercise, things like that that would still be relatable, but not necessarily directly in correlation with the word insanity. But that's really it. You know, commenting on people's walls, we all know that, right? You know, being able to ask those questions and listen is just huge across the board. So use that, and don't approach the conversation with any sort of agenda. Lead with people first, and I promise you that that natural progression of the conversation and the sales process is going to be a lot less scary and just more natural and organic as a whole, especially if you're looking at it from that customer service aspect. You're just providing information in breadcrumbs to those people. So I wanted to break this down just for a little bit. I know for this group, we didn't want to make it super overwhelming. So we had you on your daily checklist, we had you invite 2 to 3 people per day, right? And we're working your business full 21 days straight. So this includes weekends. So just for the sake of this example, that's 7 days a week. If you're inviting 2 to 3 people every single day, then at most you're inviting 21 new people into your network for the week. Multiply that by 4 weeks, you have a great number, okay? But let's say some days you do, or some weeks you do have extra time and you want to say, I'm gonna bump it up this week. I'm gonna go ahead and do 5 to 10 people this week. I'm gonna make that my goal. Then the end result for that week would be 35 to 70 new conversations for that week. And if you were adding 10 people a day to get to 70 conversations for the month, 70 times for 4 weeks, that is 280 conversations. And that's a lot. That's overwhelming to me. I don't do that much. So, you know, doing 35 a week for 4 weeks is 140 people. 5 people a day is nothing. You know, if you're doing 3, do 2 more. You know, like, what's 2 more? So 140 people is such a great number that you can go for that no, and I guarantee you that a lot of yeses are going to come from that as well, and those people are going to be in your network. So I can't wait to hear your questions on Wednesday when we open it up on this topic, because I know it's a big one for a lot of us that gets us stuck and frustrated. So I hope these little tips help you. And again, I'm going to upload that document so that you can save it and share it with your teams as well. But again, go to YouTube, go to Google, because you will find a ton of information on this topic. And you know that we're here for you, and I can't wait to see your feedback and how you rock this week. You guys have a good one.